You know that feeling, right? That deep desire to make a big change, to start fresh. But then that little voice in your head kicks in and says, I'll start tomorrow. Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful story about how to finally break that cycle.
I mean, it's got to be the most common promise we make to ourselves. Whether it's, finally getting up earlier, learning that new skill you've been eyeing, or just starting to exercise. Tomorrow always seems like the perfect day to start. But what happens when that tomorrow just keeps not showing up?
So, to really get into this, let's meet a guy named Arav. His story is basically a perfect mirror for this universal struggle, this really seductive promise of tomorrow.
Just try to imagine this for a second. Every single morning, he makes the same promise, and every single evening, he feels that same quiet sense of disappointment. Arav was totally trapped in this loop of good intentions that just never, ever led to action. And I think a lot of us know that feeling all too well.
But then, one day, something was different. Something just shifted. Instead of planning for some big action in the future, Arav decided to take one tiny action right now. And it all started with a simple 10-minute step.
That's it, just 10 minutes. No grand, life-altering strategy, no huge commitment to hours and hours of work. He just woke up a little earlier and worked on his weakness for 10 minutes. That's all. A single, totally manageable step.
And what's really fascinating is how he felt about it at first. He thought it was almost pointless. I mean, come on, what can you really get done in just 10 minutes? There was no instant reward, no sudden magical transformation. It was just this one tiny, seemingly insignificant action.
But this is where the whole game changes. Because that one small, almost useless action, it had a secret power hidden inside it. Consistency. And this, right here, is the real key to making a change.
So it started with just one 10-minute block. But because it was so easy, so non-threatening, he did it again the next day, and then the next. Before he knew it, within a week, it had become a routine. And after a month, that tiny little 10-minute commitment had naturally grown into a full hour. The momentum was building all by itself.
Now this is so important. The change happening on the outside was actually matched by this massive transformation on the inside. The doubt he started with was slowly, action by action, being replaced with real, genuine confidence. He was proving to himself 10 minutes at a time that he actually was capable of changing.
And this is what led Arav to this huge aha moment. He'd been waiting around for some big external thing to come along and spark his transformation. But the real change? It was happening quietly, from the inside out. We often think we need the perfect plan, or the right tools, or some sudden burst of motivation to get started. But what Arav found was that real growth isn't something you find, it's something you cultivate. It literally grew from his own consistent effort.
And really, this is the heart of it all. Big dreams are fantastic, they give us a direction to point ourselves in, but they don't actually create change. Small, consistent actions, that's the real engine of self-growth. It's not about the dream, it's all about the doing. Okay, so Arav's story is a great little parable. But its real power, its real value, is what happens when we start to apply it to our own lives. So let me ask you, what's your first step?
Here's a super simple way to get started. First, think about it. What is that one thing you're always pushing off until tomorrow? Just name it. Second, what is the absolute smallest version of that thing you could possibly do in just 10 minutes? And third, can you commit to just that one tiny action every day?
So forget about the 5-year plan for just a second. Forget about that grand vision for the end of the year. The most powerful, most effective plan you can possibly make is for the very next 10 minutes. That's where all your power really is.
So, I'll just leave you with this thought. The great change you're hoping for isn't hiding out there in some distant tomorrow. It's actually waiting for you right here inside a small, simple action you can take today. So, what's it going to be?